I jumped onto the Greater Patagonian Trail at section GPT10, which is a 47.5 kilometre hike through the remote wilderness of the Biobío region in Chile. I started it with a hitchhike in the back of a pickup truck. We went straight past the start point of Liay and instead started in Laguna Barco at an awesome little campsite. From Laguna Barco, I hiked up a steep incline up a few hundred metres. You can see in the distance there Laguna Barco, and the hike is pretty demanding but pretty short-lived as well. Up at the top there is no water for about 15 kilometres. I took my maximum capacity of 4 litres and I ran out of that pretty quick. I tried rationing it, but I was using like a bladder pack, and you can't really see the level of it without unpacking your bag, which wasn't convenient. But yeah, with the hot temperatures, the heavy pack, the aridness of the landscape, it was a pretty tough, demanding hike. But the views were spectacular. The trail was pretty easy to follow, especially on the road sections, although I did take a wrong turn at one point, but it was pretty easy to backtrack. As you start to come down off the high point from the plateau, you have a choice to make. You can either continue on straight towards Trapa, or you can hit a left and take a detour to Laguna Liay. I chose to do the detour to Laguna Liay. I thought it'd be a good spot to camp and also a good place to have a swim and refill my water. The descent down to the lake was pretty challenging, but it was fairly straightforward if following the horseshoe prints that I found. It kind of deviated a little bit off the GPS files for the track. Down at the Laguna, I found a pretty cool camp spot. This is a shot from the morning with sunrise. Awesome spot for a swim. Pretty difficult ascent from the lake up. It was bushwhacking territory, lots of bamboo, lots of overgrown shrubs. Very steep ascent, but again, horse tracks. Just when you think it's too difficult to pass by a human, you'll find some horse tracks, which is pretty incredible. The cowboys in the area don't seem to have a problem climbing up and down these hills on horseback. Up on the ridge, I had an awesome view of the valley, 2 different valleys actually. The valley first, where I was headed towards the end of GPT10 at Trapa, and then back down into the Laguna and then the valley beyond, where you can see a little cloud inversion where the fog is still hanging from the morning mist. It was pretty early still at this point, perhaps 9 o'clock in the morning, something like that. Walking down into the valley was pretty straightforward towards Trapa. Certainly a big improvement from the previous day on the plateau with no access to water. I hadn't seen anyone at this point since Laguna Barco. So 24 hours later, down into the valley, I did come across a local resident who had a bunch of cattle and goats and things and horses. This is the first river crossing, not too dramatic, but I thought it was a good opportunity to swap out for the sandals. And then due to the heat the previous day, I was pretty low on salt. So yeah, here we go. Not looking forward to this. I mean, it seems pretty stupid, but it did do the trick. It stopped me getting cramps, which was nice. I was feeling pretty tired at this point, so I took a bit of a siesta under a tree and then continued hiking on down the valley towards Trapa. In the valley, I bumped into a guy called Stephen from Tennessee in America. He said I was the first person he'd seen hiking on this trail in one entire month. He'd come all the way from GPT2 up near Santiago, hiked all this way without seeing another hiker, which I thought was pretty incredible. Coming into Trapa, I stayed at a place that Stephen recommended. He'd stayed the night before. They didn't speak any English, but the 3 kids there really enjoyed using the Google Translate apps on their phone to communicate with me. In the next video, I'll go on to GPT-09 and talk you through that, so stay tuned.